Hi, this is Dr. Dave, and in this video I want to show you how to find a regression model using Desmos. In order to do this, you're going to need a set of data, and I've got a set of data already handy here. You'll need to have the set of data that's been assigned to you to carry this out. So you'll want to go to desmos.com, and when you do, hit the Start Graphing button. So in order for me to enter the data, I need to go up where I see this plus sign and click on it. You'll see there's an entry here for table, so I'm going to select the table entry. And now it's labeled these columns X1 and Y1, and now I can go ahead and start to put in my numbers. So I'm going to do that. Between the entries I can use a tab, and that allows me to jump to the next part of the table. Continue doing this until you've entered all the data that you have. So as I enter these data values, it's actually graphing them. The problem is that the window that I'm showing right here isn't big enough to show these values. So once I have all my data in, I'm going to need to adjust the window in order to be able to see what I've been entering. So there's my last data value. You'll notice this is a window from -10 to 10. I need a much wider window because I have values up around 1,000, 1,100, 1,200. So I'm going to click on the graph settings, and I'm going to tell it to graph it from 0 up to 1,500. And most of my Y values are up around 10,000, 11,000, so I'm going to tell it to graph from 0 up to 15,000. When I do that, I should be able to see my data right there. I can fine-tune it a little bit by clicking on the graph and moving it around, or of course I can zoom out if I want, do things like that. So our goal here is to create a model for this data using regression. And the way we're going to do that is using Desmos and a special key on your keyboard. So I'm going to go ahead and click in a new row down here, and I'm going to type Y sub 1. You can use the underscore to put the sub 1 in. I'm going to press a right arrow to get out of the subscript, and now I need to find the tilde on the keyboard. For me, this is above my tab key on the far right. It just looks like a little squiggly line, and that is the symbol that tells Desmos that you're going to be fitting an equation to this data. Now I need to type in the form of the equation using the variable x sub 1. I'm going to do a constant times x sub 1 and squared. So you can take the squared using your keyboard shortcuts. I'm going to do Shift 6 and put the 2 in. Hit the right arrow to get out of that, plus b times x sub 1. Remember, I'm using the underscore to do that. Right arrow key to get out of it, and then plus c. So I've put in the form ax1 squared plus bx1 plus c, and as soon as I do that, it goes ahead and tells me the a, b, and c that leads to the function that passes closest to those points, and in addition it goes ahead and graphs it on here. So what you need to do is mark down what those A, B's, and C's are, because you're going to be putting that into the discussion board. You'll also be sharing this graph with me, doing it the way you've done for other ones. Now we'll also want to make a note of this statistic right here, the R squared. Remember, the R squared is a number that tells us how good a fit we have. The closer that number is to 1, the better the fit. And you'll note in this case that it's 0.9024. That's very close to 1. So this parabola that I've just come up here is a very good fit. So make sure you take down your A, B, and C as well as your R squared, because you're going to want to put that information into the discussion board. Once we've gone ahead and got that information and we've copied the embed code or downloaded the graph onto our hard drive, we need to put that into the discussion board. So you want to find the discussion that's for your team or create one. I'm going to go ahead and create it. I'm going to call it average cost model. And of course, I'm team 0. And then I'm going to go ahead and start putting the information in for my teammates to see. I'm going to go in and say what my values are that were assigned to me that are in my data. I'm going to hit enter, and then I need to go ahead and put my graph right there. Since I went ahead and did an embed code, I'm going to go to the HTML editor. I'm going to go in here, go down to a new line, right mouse click, and say paste as plain text. And when I do that, it'll put in the embed code. I can hit Rich Content Editor and go back, and I should be able to see the graph with the model on it. Now I need to go down and put in the information about my parabola here. So you'll need some words, something like my cost model is, and then put in your equation. So this is where it's going to come in real handy to go ahead and use the equation editor here. So I'm going to click on the button that has the little square root there. And now I'm going to go ahead and type in the equation. So it's y equals, now we did ax squared plus bx plus c, but we have a value for a, so I'm going to go ahead and type that in here. So mine is 0.00337647 x, and now I'm going to put in a power by hitting the superscript button, put in a 2, use the right arrow key to get out of that, and now I'm going to go ahead and put in the bx term. My b was negative, so I'm going to have minus 2.74765 times x, and then plus, or the c value, and mine was 9422.5. Say insert equation, and there it goes ahead and puts it in. Now I'm going to say what my correlation coefficient is with, and now I'm going to go back into my editor here. I'm going to type capital R, superscript, squared, arrow key to get out of the power, equals, and now I'm going to go ahead and put that in, and as I recall, it was 0.9042. Now we want to put that in and find the average cost with that. So now I'm going to say this gives average cost of, and now I'm going to go ahead and type that in. I'm going to put it on a new line. I'm going to center it, and then I'll go ahead and hit the equation button. So we're getting the average cost by doing C of x divided by x, right arrow to get out of that fraction, equals, and now I'm going to put in the formula on top and the x on the bottom. So 0.00337647x, put in my power, minus 2.74765x plus 9422.5. So that was the cost function. I'll click in the denominator down here, type in the x, and now I'll go ahead and insert that equation. And there you see it. So continue doing this until you get a post like the template that I gave you in the assignment. And once you're done, go ahead and click on Save and Publish, and that'll make it available for everyone else on your team to see, and you'll have it documented for this technology assignment.